Well, welcome again. Last time I was talking on the medieval guilds, who basically, actually, some of them are still continuing in current days. For example, the apothekers are doing that. Uh, those are organizations that also put price limits, actually fixing on the price completely. They also fix the quality of the product that is sold. They kind of also make sure in the cities where they operate, each producer, crafts producers, for example, barber or apotheker or carpenter or blacksmith, has a fixed amount of um, quality. So everywhere you go, you get a certain amount of quality. So you basically are the demand to those crafts will be distributed more evenly. And also, for example, in Turkey, famously, the guilds encourage people, if they had already sold enough products at a certain day, to send their customers to the other producers. Um, and Also, guilds limit the number of producers. Of course, that's the other side of it. By If you want to open a shop, you need to guild's permission. Uh, Guild tests, of course, the people for that purpose, whether they have sufficient skills to open that kind of a shop. However, testing that skill might also be a way to limit number of the shops that are opened. So this is another way of um, uh, well, another example of the price floors, although it's an extreme case of it actually. And why it was the medieval guilds were so necessary? Again, um, the in most of the towns, basically, the demand was not that high anyway, and especially most of the demand was coming also from the villages near the town, and that demand could also only come if the farmers have sufficient level of surplus products they are able to sell in the city or town. If they had a bad harvest collectively, in that case, the demand can decrease to a very low amount. So, since demand was so insecure, in order to protect maintain this craft production, don't allow them not to go hungry or die at the time of especially bad harvest years. The demand should be distributed equally, and it should be clear that everyone will get sufficient amount of demand and sufficient amount of um, food using that money that comes from their sales, basically. And TriStore makes sure, actually, in that sense, everyone will get uh, everyone will get a certain amount of money in return of what they sell, um, and they will have um, a certain level of, the kind of the at least the total revenue the people have of that particular craft will be distributed evenly. So, and when there is little, especially at the bad years, that even distribution might save certain um, craftspeople. Of course, what if some craftspeople, some carpenters are lazy, and that is solved kind of by checking the quality they produce. And if they don't want a customer, of course, the customer can always go to another place. So they should have at least a minimum level of productivity to keep their customers buying from them. But you don't get overexcited and try to get all customers to your shop. That was not prevented by the medieval guilds. Basically, if that kind of a competition, according to the idea, may make ultimately everyone starve basically, if you decrease the prices to very, very low level in order to compete with others, in that case, no one might gain sufficient amount of income to even cover the inputs of production, buy wood, for example, if you're a carpenter, let alone have some income to buy food for your house. So this was another case of price floors again, price floor basically. Let's continue. Now, price ceiling. Price ceiling, as we have said, is preventing the price to go above. So it is put here again below the equilibrium price, because in order to be effective, it should be below the equilibrium price. If it is above the equilibrium price, then price can anyway fall to the equilibrium price. In that case, the price ceiling is not effective. But if it is above the equilibrium price, in that case, the price cannot rise above the equilibrium, above the price ceiling. In that case, the price ceiling will be effective. I mean, the price will remain here, even though the equilibrium price still exists. Well, what will be the consequence of the price ceiling? First, it is there to protect the buyers by putting a maximum price. You don't let the price rise to a very high amount. Secondly, it will create a permanent excess demand. These are two characteristics that are clear at the very heart of the price ceiling. You have it. What will happen to the market efficiency? Let's take this and let's calculate it actually. Sorry, here we are. Let me erase all of it. The basic formulas are of course the same. And instead of price floor, we have price ceiling. So let's say our price ceiling is at the price level 4. First, without price ceiling, the consumer surplus is equal to 10 minus 6 times 40 times 0.5, which is equal to 80. Producer surplus is 6 minus 2 multiplied by 40 times 0.5, which is equal to 80. The market surplus is 80 plus 80, which is equal to 160. With ceiling, now let's start with producer surplus. Previously producer surplus was this triangle, now it has fallen to this triangle. So producers lose certainly, because the amount, both the money they earn per product they sell has decreased. Also, the amount they sell will decrease. And note that at the price 4, the buyers are willing to buy 60 units, sellers are willing to sell 20 units, but since buyers cannot buy what sellers don't want to sell, the total amount that is sold is 20 units. So producer surplus is 4 minus 2. I'm sorry. 4 minus 2 times 20 times 0.5, which is equal to 20. So consumer surplus is this trapezoid. Again, consumers are gaining something because the price they pay is less than it was before. So mathematically they gain this rectangle, basically. But they also lose something because they could not buy as much as they were able to buy before. Mathematically what they lose is this triangle. So basically the consumer surplus is 10 minus 8 multiplied by 20 times 0.5 plus 8 minus 6 times 20, which is equal to 20 plus 80, which is equal to 100. So consumer surplus in this case has increased. Although it is possible also the consumer surplus could also decrease if the price ceiling will be put to a very low price. In that case, the loss in the quantity that is bought, it's that effect created by the loss of the quantity bought will dominate the gain created by the price increase. You can try, for example, when the price is 3 and basically the quantity that is sold by the sellers is 10. But let's stick with this one. So the market surplus is 100 plus 20, which is equal to 120. So deadweight loss is 160 minus 120, which is equal to 40. You can also calculate deadweight loss by calculating, well, previously this was the market surplus. Now this is the market surplus. So this triangle is lost. So by calculating the area of this triangle, you can find also the deadweight loss, which is 40 minus 20 times 8 minus 4 times 0.5. Again, you go vertically up from the price ceiling, from the point where price ceiling intersects the supply curve, and you go to the point where your vertical line intersects your demand curve. Technically speaking, you look what is the price at which the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied at the price ceiling. And if you multiply this, 20 times 4 over 0.5 is again 40. Okay, this is the technical part of the price ceiling. Now, possible implications of the price ceiling. Let us start at least. Price ceilings are below the market price, make the sellers sell for a lower price, which means the sellers are certainly losing from it. Buyers as a whole might benefit from price ceiling if it is not sold to too low amount. But in some cases, if since the amount of the goods the sellers are willing to sell is less than the amount the buyers are willing to buy, if some buyers end up without buying the product they want to buy, some buyers might be lose from this price ceiling. One way of dealing with this potential loss is limiting amount each buyer can buy. The Carney system rationing is actually coming with this this type of restriction of buyers by restricting amount each buyer can sell, basically. Again, even though those price ceilings decrease total market surplus, they benefit the higher number of people if the number of buyers are larger, drastically larger than number of sellers, basically. We will continue in the next part. See you in the next part.